What's going on? Welcome back, South Texas. Welcome back, all of America, to Ridin High Sports with your boy Lucky Lamar. And tonight, I got a special guest with me. I got Lil Boss. Introduce yourself to the people one time, my
Boy,
friend.
Lil Boston, you know what I'm saying? The younger brother of the Bostons, the younger brother of DJ Lil King, Ricky Boston, you know what I'm saying? We in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 2010 Carol grad?
2010, Carroll. I went to King for 2 years.
Oh, sorry about
I went
that.
to Carroll for 2 years. I got letterman for both schools. So I got a letterman to both rivalries, track and basketball.
There's an alumni basketball game right now, King versus Carroll. What side you suiting up on? I'm just saying, hypothetically, like he got two lettermans from both.
Yeah, I got two
programs.
lettermans from both rivalries, but if I had to suit up for one, it probably would be Carroll.
Thank you. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Don't leave me hanging.
That's where I ended my journey.
Let me hanging. He give me a womp. He left me hanging. Give me a womp.
That's where I ended my journey. You already know. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. That's what's up, bro. So life been treating you good?
Hell yeah, man. I got my family, you know what I'm saying? Nigga just working, grinding, maintaining.
Okay. That's what's
Be
up.
here and there, everywhere, shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. And King, how was your weekend, bitch? Oh, you even got your mic. Don't even worry about it. King doing good. It's time for that fresh fade again, so he'll probably get it this weekend. You know the boy got to stay fresh. But we're going to go ahead and jump into these sports tonight, guys. So last Friday night, we had our Miller Buccaneers from the north side of Corpus take on the DeSoto Eagles from Dallas, Texas. They met at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. I was blessed enough to make the trip with my buddy Devin. It was a great time. We got there in the first quarter. It was 14-0, and then when we got there, they had scored again. And but overall, my take on the game from just seeing it live was that at the first half, DeSoto overwhelmingly too much for Miller, whether it be the O-line, the D-line. Out coached a little bit, and but as the game went on, you saw more of Miller getting into the game. They were adjusting to the speed. Now, I would say it absolutely happened a little too late.
Yeah, it happened
way too late.
Way too late.
But I think that with more exposure to talent like that, because they're not gonna see that until necessarily the playoffs, typically. You know what I mean? So for them to go up against something like that.
Maybe not even to the second round.
Exactly.
They're going to blow out their first round matchup.
Exactly. So for in my opinion, for them to go against that, say, okay, this is what we got to go with. And what beat them in the end, honestly, too, was, yes, they're more talented, but they got a lot of controllable penalties, whether it be personal fouls with hands to the face, roughing the passer, face mask, unsportsmanlike conduct, this, that, and the fourth. But at the end of the day, they just couldn't execute. Did you watch the game by chance?
Yeah, I watched the game. Yeah, you're right. They didn't really execute. They didn't really start playing that Miller football maybe until when it was basically too late.
Yeah.
But you're right. It was overwhelming. They had a nigga on the offensive line that was like 6'8", a grown-ass NFL player, number 76, Byron Washington. So I appreciate Miller for reaching out, you know what I'm saying, because they've been beating everybody in South Texas, damn near going up, damn near north. I wouldn't say all the way north like Dallas or Austin, but they've been kicking ass. So for the coach to reach out and be like, man, I'm about to test y'all, I was proud of that, man, because ain't no other team going to do that here in Corpus.
Yeah,
I guarantee you that.
And it was just like a classic boxing match where you have the overwhelming favorite versus the overwhelming underdog. You know what I mean? Like, did the overwhelming favorite win? Yes. Yep. But did that underdog stun him a couple of times? Because it wasn't like prime example, there was one time DeSoto had a 4th and 15, and it was early in the first half, and Miller gives up the 4th down, but they also had a flag on top of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So regardless of even if you somehow make that play, you still would have given up the first down. You know what I mean? Number 21, Taylor, right?
Yeah.
He had a moment. Now I remember seeing it. He hits the hole. He gets hit by the lineman and the linebacker, but he's still up, and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm still up."
Yeah.
And then he took off and he beat the safeties to the end zone. You know what I mean? So you can see in that very moment of, okay, we can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That for me was the embodiment of the game. You know what I mean? Because once he got his rhythm after that first screen pass, they had to 2-3 guys bring him down now. You know what I mean? I think Holmes had a wrist or hand injury. So I think they said that happened in the first half. But overall, though, it was a really good learning experience, in my opinion.
I loved it. Like I said, man, I love to see a Corpus team put their skills to the test, even though they was overmatched.
Yeah.
But I felt like, man, if they could have kept it like 7-7, 7-14, not get jumped on. What was the early score? Like
the earliest score
right?
was when I walked into the building, DeSoto was running into the end zone to make it 22-0. And that was in the first quarter. You know what I mean? And my buddy Dev, he's a DeSoto graduate, so I was on the DeSoto sideline. And, bro, like, and it wasn't even just, like, a DeSoto team versus Miller team. Now I'm talking about, like, upper echelon program versus program trying to find its way.
Yeah, trying to find
that
its way.
DeSoto program on the sideline, bro.
I think they just two-time defending.
Yeah.
6A.
A bunch of times.
Something like that.
Yeah, they got a lot of them. But when you were looking at them on the sideline, if you weren't the starting offense or starting defense that was coming off the field, you were lined up down the line, right?
Yeah.
The people that were coming off the field on the bench, getting water, getting hydrated. As soon as they were back up, standing on the line. You know what I mean? There was a couple of times where even late in the game when they're up big, like the coach didn't lose his stuff until late in the ball game to where like they're up and like, oh, he's gonna take his foot off the gas. No, he was coaching harder.
No.
You know what I mean? And like I see teams in Corpus particular, like I don't want to name names, but some are green and white, some are blue and white, some are red and white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not the ones that are purple and gold necessarily, not the ones that are red, white, and blue necessarily.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't want to name no names. If you're in Corpus, you know.
Yeah, you already know.
So when it comes to those programs that lack that, that's what I think it's what Miller's bugaboo is. They don't have that consistent, not even good competition. They don't even have solid competition outside of vets typically. You know what I mean?
They already beat them, kind of stumped on them.
They smacked them 42
so that's what I'm
bro,
so
that score was
no
42 to exactly.
They had no choice. I believe Miller's, I want to say a 5A.
Yeah, they're 5A.
So they really had no choice but to go up against a 6A.
Because
school, man, like they really had no choice. And I know the head coach saw that, Evans. So you're gonna coach your ass off maybe into the fourth quarter where the lead is just out of hand. You're just gonna be like, man, let's see what the other players got.
Exactly.
We tried to see what y'all can do, you know what I'm saying? We put y'all to the test. So let's see what the other players can do. But yeah, you're right. Like he did coach, you know what I'm saying? I don't felt like they lost hope. But like you said, when you saw it was 22-0.
Yeah.
Just imagine if they would have just had 7 or 10 points on the board.
And
that might have been like, you know what I'm saying? We might actually have a chance.
Bro, and that's
like
because
real
after DeSoto scored to go up 22,
yeah,
Miller got it wasn't like Miller wasn't moving the ball.
Yeah, they was moving the ball.
Like as soon as they go up 22, they're in the red zone with the chance to score and they shoot themselves in the foot. They had a good nice play. Then I think it was a hold or something that brought the ball back. And then they ended up stalling out the drive and going for it on 4th and long. You know what I mean? And then they stall out.
What was the history about the refs? What was the refs from? Were they kind of more up north or kind of in the middle of San Antonio?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna say that the refs, you know what I'm saying, was just calling penalties, but we're talking about a high school football game, man. It was broadcast, but you're not gonna see a little tug here or a push here, trip here. You're not gonna really.
Everything's kind of sloppy at its core, in principle, because like. Talking about Miller, like, playing up, like, they have Cuero next, which I think that's going to be a good game. They got to go to Cuero. And they have Sinton at home. I think that's a good test. But, like, this is their district. They're in a district with Moody, Carroll, King, GP, Ray. Okay?
That's an undefeated record right there.
Bro, because check this out. Moody right now is 2-1. Carroll's 0-3. King is 1-2, 1-1.
Yeah.
GP is 0-3. Ray is 0-3.
That's an undefeated district.
You know what I mean? Like
that's why it really didn't hurt them playing DeSoto.
It didn't. All it did was it gave Trevor experience.
Yeah.
It gave Taylor the ability to say, "Hey, I can play high school football at a really high level against anybody." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think also like that Cuero game. Let's see, Cuero. I think they're 2-1, maybe undefeated.
Yeah, bro, they've always had a good football team.
They're 2-1 right now.
That's gonna be a good test.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And their only loss came to Columbus, and it was 65-24. They beat Lavernia and they beat Yoakum. I mean, so
Yoakum is like a rivalry game to them. I think it's like maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes away.
Facts. So, like, I'm excited to see this Miller team grow from this. So I think they're going to be, and that's because to start the season, I said at worst, if they can come out of these first four, they'd be either 3-0, 3-1, 4-0. You know what I mean? Man. Maybe at worst 2-2-ish if they lose to Cuero, but I think they beat Cuero and I think they beat Seton and they run the table.
Cuero's nowhere near 6A, so they just gotta have a mentality like we played a 6A. They got D1 offers all over the field. Let's not lose no more.
Yes,
y'all not gonna play no 6A school in the Texas football playoffs.
Nope,
high school football playoffs. Y'all not gonna play no 6A school. Days. So that's definitely, like you said, a learning experience. And y'all just got to have a mentality like, we ain't losing no more. We lost to the two-time or whatever, how many championships they won in the past, DeSoto. So if they got that mentality, they can go undefeated for the rest of the season, including the championship game.
Yes. And then check this out. So I was blessed enough to get in contact with one of the DeSoto players, right?
Okay.
And I asked him, I was like, how do you feel about playing against Miller? And he said, I feel like, and overall, he just said that they got into too many talking wars and that they just they just beat themselves. And it took them too long to adjust.
That was another thing I was going to say. I was going to say, man, the coacher's going to be there for Miller.
Yes,
we already
absolutely.
know the coacher's going to be there. So as far as DeSoto, the coacher's there too, but I feel like they've been there. Champion. They've done it. You know what I'm saying? So they don't need to.
They have that. You hit it spot on. They have that. Like they both have culture, right?
Hell yeah.
Now Miller has a fighting culture, right? DeSoto has a championship culture. You know what I mean? And there's no knock to Miller saying that they have a fighting culture. It's more of like, when you play Miller, you know you're going to be in it for a dogfight. Oh, yeah. And if you beat them, you know you earned it 1,000%. Sure. Like, they didn't go out there and lay down. Like, that was not a typical blowout. Don't get me wrong. Like,
it wasn't no 65-0.
Absolutely not.
They just
you know what I mean?
Down.
Like, every time they made a big stop, they shot themselves in the foot defensively.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Even just like, and everybody has this myth that DeSoto took their starters out in the second quarter. That couldn't be further from the truth. You know what I mean? Like, their starters played until 4 or 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So, like, that's what I would take away from it.
I wouldn't believe that. I wouldn't believe that they took all their starters out. Maybe one or two high-profile players that got D1 scholarship that they're going to need later on down the line. Yes, I can understand that, see that. But they're not going to take the whole starting offense, defense off the field and just put in a fresh, 11 players on defense?
No. And that's because, like, big number 76, he played
damn near the whole game?
He played damn near the whole game. And you think he going to be out there blocking for a backup quarterback?
Nah, he already got so many D1 offers.
How many times do you think Trent Williams is going to be blocking for the backup in San Francisco? No. That's not, no, it's not going to happen. Unless something bad happens to the starting quarterback.
If they up, get out the game.
Get out the game. But, like, I think it's going to be a good team, bro.
I'm looking forward to the rest of the season for sure. Like I said, they should go, after this loss, they should go undefeated for the rest of the season.
Yeah, because I think that lit that fire they needed of, we're not as good as we thought, but we're better than we expected, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
I can rock with that. Yeah, they're not good as what they thought, but everybody else that y'all gonna play, y'all should whoop their ass.
Like, and think about it like this.
Y'all not playing no 6A school no more.
Imagine, like, when they play a team in the first round of the playoffs. Like, that team that used to say, we're going to play this corporate school. No, we got to go play Roy Miller. And you better hope the game's not at Buccaneer Stadium.
No shit.
You know what I mean?
Better hope.
Better
hope it's at Cabinets.
Cabinets is not getting that game. Are you tripping?
You better hope it's at San Antonio, South San, or somewhere neutral.
Bro, I hate that. I hate Alamo Stadium. Like, I love the Alamo Dome. I was
gonna bring up their environment, but no, Miller's, like I said, they've been to the playoffs. Bro, they've been on big stages, so the environment couldn't be in it.
But playing, I don't think this core unit has played in a dome yet, and I was blessed enough to play in the Alamo Dome one time for Carroll, right? Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If you've never played in a dome before,
I played on the Spurs. I know exactly where you're
like,
going, man.
That
you'll look
shit
up, you'll start looking around. Maybe your field
weird.
vision gets, you know what I'm saying?
Bro,
your
like,
field vision kind of gets thrown off.
And you're trying to throw a ball.
Yeah.
Like, I think, I forgot what NBA player described it as this. He said it's like trying to, like, the basket is like trying to throw a ball into a sea of people sometimes, because like you have, like, if you're coming from like a high school gym that has like the hanging backboard, the wall behind it, like, and everything's here. Now you replace that into an arena with people all around. You know what I mean? Like,
you were there? Was it
when we got blessed about the unicorns?
No. Was it? I know it wasn't sold out, but was it a decent amount of people to maybe rattle the home or the way or the farther team or the closer team?
I ain't gonna lie, that Miller crowd was thick.
That's what I'm saying.
That Miller crowd was thick, bro. They traveled for their boys.
They even had people on the sidelines and shit.
Yeah, I sat on the my buddy Dev. He's a DeSoto grad, so we sat on the DeSoto sideline. But bro, like, it was a lot of people there, bro. It was loud, and even when Miller was down, the fans never left. Every big play, they supported, they cheered, they were there every step of the way for their boys. It was a beautiful thing to see, bro. Like,
you want to see what these kids can do, man, versus, you know what I'm saying? So,
and it's better to do it now.
Yeah, do it now.
Because they ain't going to get no look from, like, Carroll. I love Carroll to death, but they ain't going to get no look from Carroll. They ain't going to get no look from Ray. They ain't going to get no look from King.
They'll get a little bit from Quero.
They'll get a little bit from Quero. I
don't know about Sitton.
You know what team I like a lot, and I've said it for the last 2 years? Moody. Like, if you look at their record, you will say, man, it's just Moody. But if you look at them as a whole and you just look at talent for talent, they can compete with anybody in this city. You know what I mean? If you line them up with Miller, I think it's going to be similar to what happened with Miller versus DeSoto. Not necessarily in that same extent of like 55-0 type shit, but it's going to be like one of those, we got to figure out how we compete with y'all. Because, like, eventually, our graduating class has to beat you. You know what I mean? So, I think it's going to be an interesting test. Now, speaking of interesting tests, now, this video is brought to you by whoever wants to sponsor us. Just throwing that out there. If y'all are out there and you got a business, you got something, and you want to sponsor a podcast, hit us up in the DMs or something. But I want to change subjects, and I want to ask you about something. So recently in the NFL has made a attempt to limit head trauma, head injuries, with hits to the head, whether it be by penalty, by fining players, by allowing players to wear the Guardian caps in game. They wear the Guardian caps all spring training. They have modern helmets to where now, like, your helmet's custom fit for your head. With especially seeing, like, I'm not saying like he has it or anything, but like cases where you have like Antonio Brown who takes a massive hit, and now you see Tua Tagovailoa who had 3 concussions in one season, and not like concussions where like he just gets knocked down, he gets back up and just stumbles a little bit and walks up to the sideline. Like, he's had like 3, like just last season, massive concussions to where his fingers are gone, like his knees are shot, like he gets up and it's kind of like he's getting knocked out kind of like a boxer or like a UFC fighter to me. You know what I mean? It's not your typical football collision tackle, because like as soon as he took off this last game, I felt like something was not going to go well for him, because like it's just, I'm sorry, like he has a history. You know what I mean?
If you got a history and you prone to it, I don't know if this is what you were leading up to, but
you're going exactly where I was leading up to.
Man, you got your money.
You got it.
You got it.
Fully guaranteed, whether you play another down or not.
Get up out of there, man, while you can.
Yeah.
You don't want this to affect you later on during your life. They talking about CTE.
The CTE.
Because of concussions.
Yep.
Or anything else, man. You could just wake up one morning just feeling sick or not able to move your arms or legs or some shit, or your fingers are locked. I don't know. I don't know too much about concussions and the CTE, but if you got that, whatever he got, 200 and some million, I think they guaranteed him like 160 or 170, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. That's usually the typical. So, that's like the bottom line of the market deal for a quarterback nowadays.
Do I say give it another shot? Yeah, but if it happens again, for sure, there ain't even no question about it.
Yeah.
Stop playing. Retire.
Yeah.
Give it another shot. But if it happens again within the next 5 years, which is probably going to happen.
Bro, it's
probably going to happen. Just go on and retire, man. You got your money. You got your family. I say give it up, man.
Yeah, and what I say is
health is way more important than football.
Health is wealth, and he's reaching a point to where his body, first of all, even dating back to college, whether it be his ankle, his hip, his...
I think he had a concussion or a broken nose or
something. Like he had an injury history in college. You know what I mean? So now that takes away his ability to even be able to move in the pocket, even at a collegiate level, let alone an NFL professional level, where the game's 3 times as fast, 4 times as violent. You know what I mean? So if he can't move and he tries to take off, he tried to take off and protect and slide, but his body is just so goofy now that it doesn't know how to slide and brace. Somebody need
to teach that boy how to duck and weave and duck and slide.
And I think the point that nobody is really putting together is the crazy part. If this is his last moment in the NFL, if he's forced to medically retire and go the Andrew Luck route to where hey, my body just can't take it no more.
Yeah, the Andrew Luck.
The fact that it would be a hit with DeMar Hamlin that did it. You know what I mean? Not saying anything bad or oh my God, but the man and they both had situations on the Cincinnati field. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those poetic moments type deal, because dating back to a boxer, you've seen Muhammad Ali before he left. You've seen all these boxers when they get older, and boxing is a direct blow to the head. And even Floyd said himself, I got out so that way I can keep this. You know what I mean? Because your noggin is something you really can't play with at all.
Oh man, I wouldn't do it, man. I would get up out of there, man. You got the money, you know what I'm saying? You set for the rest of your life. Your kids are set. Your grandkids are set. Your generation is set. Yeah. So for you to keep going out there and hurting yourself to the possibility where you might not even reach 35 with the CTE and how they be describing it, yeah, man, get up out of there. You're too young for that, man. You're too young for that.
Bro, and it's 5. That's a lot of...
But I don't blame him for giving it one more shot. But if he is going to give it one more shot, he better be hella smart about the next run he wants to take. Or you can't... I mean, if he just gets sacked because the offensive line breaks down, I mean, we can't blame that on him. But if you're going to run, you need to start running I don't know. I wouldn't say Lamar Jackson, but, man, you better start running like Peyton Manning back in the day. You better slide before you even get close to the first down or something.
But that's the thing. He slid, bro. He was trying to slide. And
he slid the wrong way. He didn't do a baseball slide.
He did goofy-footed.
Yeah, there you go. He did a head first.
Right into DeMar Hamlin's elbow.
He did some shit I do on NCAA 25.
Bruh. And, DeMar's just trying to catch him and lay him down like a little baby, but it didn't happen. I think he should wrap it up. But like you were saying, if he feels hey, I don't want to go out on my shield like that, maybe. But discuss it with the wife, the mom, dad, kids if he has them. But they need you more as a family guy than a football player.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
what I mean?
You
because
got the money.
The Miami Dolphins are gonna keep doing what the Miami Dolphins do. And
they can get Tom Brady.
Bro, Fox ain't letting him out of that deal.
Right out the booth.
Fox ain't letting Tom out of that deal. But I hope he's okay, though. And King, is your mic on? Because I need you on this one.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, let me get your take on Tua. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen the injury, but my whole thing is with that CTE stuff. I've just been hearing about all this stuff, and I guess I've heard enough to where I don't even have to see it. It's just hearing about it. I know with the Junior Seahawks situation, you know what I'm saying? You look at and I know Steve Mongo McMichael, he ain't suffering from CTE, but he has the ALS. But I just look at the position that Mongo McMichael is. Steve McMichael, he was a wrestler back. He played for UT. He played for the Bears, and then he was a wrestler for WCW. And he's basically bedridden now, and he can't even do nothing for himself now.
What if you're gonna wake up later on in life just waking up to headaches for no reason.
Or wake up and do some dumb shit. Wake up and do the Chris Benoit. The Chris Benoit situation. You know what I'm saying?
Man. That medication that they're going to give you is probably only going to make it worse, if you ask me.
And then you're probably going to have, like, develop some kind of, like, medication. Because, like, for the headache, they're just going to give you a strong-ass painkiller. Now you develop an addiction to that. But, like, I don't know if you heard me when I said it earlier, King. I kind of compared it to Muhammad Ali and, like, boxing. And then it makes me actually think back to when we had Hitman on here. And him and Pops were talking about, like in and out, like, to protect his noggin or whatever. So... Like, it's just a tough subject, but
it ain't really, man. To be honest with you, if I was face to face with him, I'll just tell him, give it one more try, man. If you get another concussion, you're gonna have to call it quits, especially in the next 5 years.
Shit, in the next 5 games,
or next 2. Like, I'll just throw out a timetable. Like, if it just happens, you gonna have to call it quits, man. Your brain, your head can't take too many of these concussions.
Yeah. Speaking of, we're gonna change it up a little bit. Mr. King, Lil Boss. The new number 1 team in the nation as far as college football. Y'all been on the NCAA. I don't know who's number 1 in the nation in y'all's dynasty. Who's that? Who's number 1?
Neither one of us.
Neither one of us.
I'm about to get there, bro.
Okay. So the University of Texas is number 1 in the poll since what, 2005? 2008?
2008 was the last time.
When we beat Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry, they were number 1. We were number 5. We beat them 52-42, and we became number 1 the next week.
That was Coach year when y'all played Alabama in the Natty, right?
No, that was Coach Junior year. We went to the Fiesta Bowl. We got fucked that year. We ended up going to the Fiesta Bowl, and we beat Terrell Pryor's Ohio State Buckeyes.
Okay.
The next year, we went undefeated and made it to the game to play Alabama.
Okay. So, we got a little history on the line. Texas for the first time, number 1 in a while. Quinn Ewers led the team to Ann Arbor. Got a dub. Starts last week, has to come out. Arch comes in, takes care of business. So, I'm not saying that Quinn isn't the starter, but let's say he's out for, it's an oblique injury. Let's say he's out 3-4 weeks, right? He manages to give you 250 passing yards a game, 2 touchdowns a game. No picks. Maybe 1 pick through the course of those 4 games. On the ground, he gives you another 250, another 3 touchdowns. Okay. And you go 3-1 at worst. How do you feel? How do y'all feel Sark is going to handle that situation?
He's going to have to go back to Quinn for at least 1 game.
It's Quinn's team regardless.
Yeah, it's his team regardless. So whatever he does,
it don't matter.
He's gonna have to go back to him for 1 game, just to see how he plays.
I don't even think it matters. I don't think it matters like how good Arch plays. Whenever Quinn comes back, it's Quinn's team. Yeah, it's clearly Quinn's team. And as a Texas Longhorn fan, I don't even want it to go into Arch. Like our Arch ain't ready. Like what we saw. What we saw was against UTSA, you know what I'm saying? And I saw some shit that was like, I saw some glimpses that he wasn't ready. I saw some glimpses of him being ready, but I saw some glimpses of him not being ready also. So for me, like, Quinn is 100% ready, and you don't get that with Arch. Arch will probably be 100% ready next year, you know what I'm saying? But this is Quinn's team, and, like, it's all on Quinn. Unless Quinn's done for the season, that's the only way I don't see him coming back as QB1.
Yeah. Do we know the severity of it?
They said it was a strained abdomen, and he's day-to-day.
Day-to-day?
Yeah.
So I'm expecting him just to miss a week or 2.
Yeah, I'd probably say he misses probably this week, which is against Louisiana Monroe, and then he probably misses next week, which is against or next week, I can't remember. Next week after might be a bye, and then they have a Mississippi State. So before they play Oklahoma, they got Louisiana Monroe, a bye, and then they got Mississippi State, and they're basically saying, so if he misses those 3 games, they'll still be good.
Yeah. So, you're right. It's Monroe, bye week, then Mississippi State, Red River rivalry. I can't even say it. Oklahoma. Okay, let's say
he's going to come back for the Oklahoma game.
Y'all say he comes back for the Oklahoma game?
He might come back for the Mississippi State game.
Yeah, he might.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be an interesting story. Not saying that he will not go back to Quinn or won't go back. Like will stick with Arch. I just think it's an interesting subject to broach. Like, let's say he does miss those 4 weeks or whatever, and Arch goes, he beats Mississippi State at home. He goes to AT&T and he beats Oklahoma. I think it's going to be a tougher decision. Not necessarily saying that he won't go back to Quinn. I think it's a tougher decision to go into that Georgia game.
It's not even a decision. He's gonna go back to him for sure. Yeah, for that one game that he's healthy. Yeah. And after that, who knows?
And I think Arch knows his position. I don't look at Arch as like a diva.
Yeah.
I don't look at Arch as one of those kids. If that was the case, Arch wouldn't be. He would have transferred last year. Like, he knew that he was gonna have to sit behind Quinn this year. Like, and his family's cool with that. He's cool with that. Like, so there's no reason to try to rush him to be the starter whenever Quinn. If Quinn was playing shitty as a fan, yeah, of course we're like they always say the backup quarterback is the most popular guy on the team. But if the QB1 is playing great, nobody even is thinking of the backup quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
When can you come out of college football? After your junior year, right?
Yeah.
You have to do
after your third year. It doesn't have to be your junior year.
3 years, so you can be a redshirt sophomore and leave.
So I think he's planning it out real good, man. You have a good junior year, stick it out for your senior year, then get drafted.
Yeah, I agree.
No, Quinn. I think Arch, because whenever Arch takes over, he'll be a redshirt sophomore. Good redshirt sophomore season, good redshirt junior season, and he's gone.
Yeah,
like he ain't gonna stay for his senior year. He'll be there.
He's a redshirt freshman this year,
right?
Yeah,
he's a redshirt
freshman. He has to play more than 4 or 6 games,
so he can technically leave after next year because he
redshirted last year.
Redshirt freshman year.
Yeah, I know he did that.
Then he redshirted his freshman year, so now is his redshirt sophomore year. So after next season, he can technically be draft eligible. But I think it's a fun. But if I'm Sark, it's a good situation to have.
It's a good topic around the school. I know that for sure. But when it comes to the straight football,
I don't even think it's a topic around the school. I think it's just a topic amongst the media and the people on the outside. Because even as a Texas fan, I'm looking at these videos on YouTube and on ESPN, these shows, and I'm like, bruh. Like, y'all are just talking about that to try to, spark some controversy. Texas fans aren't thinking that way. Yeah. Like, we know what it is.
We want to stay number one, man.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I wanted to ask, because, if the same thing, if somebody was like, hey, bro, you think that Auburn's going to go back to Peyton Thorne? I'd tell you absolutely not. You know what I mean? So, from the outside looking, I wanted to ask some genuine football Longhorn fans, what do y'all think on it? Because there hasn't been a lot of hype around a quarterback in a while, the level of Arch. You've had the hype from Caleb, you've had the hype from Baker when he was at Oklahoma, but the magnitude. I mean, I wouldn't
even consider Baker. I wouldn't even consider Johnny. The ones I would consider more of that, or who was the first one you named?
Caleb Williams.
I would think of, when I think of that, I think of Caleb Williams. I think of Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor had a lot of hype.
When I think of players who coming out of high school, you could plug them on this team and they could literally take your team to a national, or they're expected. If this dude was to start from game one, he would be expected to lead us to a national championship. And that's the aura that they have around Arch, even though he is sitting, and that's basically what it became with Caleb Williams, and that's what it was with Trevor Lawrence. Right after 3-4 games, they had already pulled Kelly Bryant, and then Trevor Lawrence ended up taking them to a national title. So it's very few that come in with that hype. Johnny Manziel was a 3-star recruit, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't count that. Baker Mayfield, he walked on at Texas Tech, and then, or did he get? Can't remember. He walked on in one of them.
He walked on at Texas Tech,
and then he transferred to Oklahoma. So the hype around them coming out of high school wasn't really nothing.
Yeah, I love when he gets going, bro. Yeah. Man,
you about to get into the next topic or what?
Yeah, I'm about to get into something near and dear to your heart, and I'm gonna honestly.
Hold on, let me see what we got going on.
I'm gonna cue you up, okay? And it's something near and dear to your heart. You're a hooper.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of storylines in the NBA, whether it be Clay playing against Golden State for the first time. Do you feel Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were disrespected, anything like that? So the NBA season is less than a month away. Tell me how you feel heading into it, man.
I low-key liked it, the draft. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of did low-key. It wasn't like last year when they went Biyama and all them, but I low key like the draft, so I kind of want to see what these draft players do. But Brown, I think he really got disrespected. Right, he should have been on Team USA.
Yeah.
He played in the Big Three, one of the Big Three games. That's the Ice Cube League. Like, he showed that he's down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who they would have replaced. They could have replaced Derek White, right?
They could have replaced Jason Tatum. They clearly didn't want to play him.
Yeah, they didn't play him for like a couple of games or barely played him at that. So
yeah. So going back to the draft, like, what gives you so much excitement about this draft class? Because like a lot of your quote unquote experts said that this draft class was like a big miss. Like me personally, I'm a Spurs fan, and I'm excited about Stephon Castle.
Yeah, so
it's Stephon Castle, right? I can't remember.
I think they got two players. I want to say
no. We traded the other one.
I forgot
to Minnesota.
Yeah.
The kid from Kentucky.
I think Houston got somebody too.
They're still Reed Shepherd.
They're still and I kind of want to see what the Lakers do with their picks. They got Bronny James. They got
I'm interested in that one.
Connect, the one that can shoot threes and do all that stuff. Take it to the basically like a Austin Reeves 2.0.
Facts.
Basically.
Dalton
Connect, yeah. So I kind of want to see what these, like I said, these draft picks do. But other than that, I think the NBA season is going to be just like how it was last year.
Yeah.
Exactly how it was last year. The only difference is going to be what these picks do to help.
So, okay. So, who's your final four as far as like your two from the East and two from the West that will meet in the NBA Conference Finals?
I know Boston's going to be in there for the East.
I like Boston. Let's see. King, we're going to get your 4-2, okay?
Man, I don't watch no NBA.
You don't watch basketball?
It's just like Boston's a clear runner, man. Out of the West, it's gonna be Dallas.
Okay.
Maybe like OKC. I could see them. I would love to say the Lakers, but
bro, you know who I want to see just go stupid in the playoffs, bro? Ja Morant, bro. Like
that's gonna be hard though, man.
I love Ja's game. I love his energy. I just think they tried to get them that third piece with when they brought in Adams. Yeah. But you need somebody that can score and get rebounds in the West because
for sure.
Like, don't get me wrong, like you can get in the playoffs with the Steven Adams.
Yeah.
But you're not going to go far in the playoffs because typically, what are you going to run into? You're going to run into a Jokic. You're going to run into an Anthony Davis. You're going to run into a Karl Anthony Towns, a big that can really stretch the floor and shoot. And you're going to got to match that somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my opinion.
So, out of the West, like you said, probably Denver.
I like Denver.
And, the Mavs.
Denver and the Mavs. From the West,
Denver and the Mavs.
I'm going to say... I'm going to say Minnesota.
Though. They might do something.
I'm gonna say Minnesota and Memphis, bro.
Okay,
I want to see Ant versus.
So I could replace Minnesota with Denver.
Okay.
So it could be Mavs and Minnesota.
Man,
it's gonna be like you said. It's gonna be a Final Four, but I think it's gonna be a Final Four from each conference, not just two teams out of the East and two teams out of the West.
Okay, give me your 4 from the East.
I couldn't even give you 4 because Boston's just a front runner. Boston.
And usually from
Miami.
the East,
we'll go Miami.
Okay, Miami, Boston.
I think the Magic's made the playoffs last year.
Magic made the playoffs.
They're in the West. They're in the East.
They're in the East.
They're in the East.
So you got the Mavs? I mean the Magic?
And the Cavs.
The Cavs? Okay.
Yeah, I can see them being the top 4 teams.
From the East, I like Boston. I think that both Jalen and Jason Tatum are going to get the respect they deserve this season. Give me the Sixers. For some weird reason, I just like the Sixers.
I don't know. Man. Get that together quick.
Give me.
I forgot about the Clippers.
I don't like the Clippers.
They're in the West.
I like the Magic.
Yeah, the Magic. They up and coming.
And if the Pacers can find one more piece.
Yeah, the Pacers.
I like the Pacers. Who's your favorite to win like regular season MVP?
Regular season MVP. I would say Tatum.
Tatum
or Brown. For sure.
No Joker?
I can't see Joker. I can't see Embiid because, man, I know Joker don't got no injury history, but, man, he could get hurt and it could throw him out of there.
Yeah.
We never know. Brown and Tatum can get hurt, but they don't got that history like that. And they always are, 25, 28 point score. You know what I'm saying? So I could definitely see one of them doing it for sure. They got to be in the conversation.
I got a dark horse.
I like Wemby.
Get out of my head, bruh. So my dark horse for MVP this season is one disappointed because he didn't win gold in his home country, Frenchman.
Oh yeah, that's gonna make it spicy.
He is spicy. He is mad. And he earned he got his NBA.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
This some bullshit. I'm ready to rock and roll attitude now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
They couldn't do nothing with him as a rookie. Now he's gonna have Chris Paul put Castle next to him. Yep. You know what I mean? And if Chris Paul is gonna do anything, he's gonna get a big basketball. For sure. No big can say, "Hey, bro, I underperformed with Chris Paul," ever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I really like Wemby to win the MVP. But what's I'm just.
Who do you think, King? Who you think can win the MVP? I'm gonna take a restroom break. Who you think can win the MVP though?
Oh man, that's a good question. Who won it this past season?
I want to say it was it Joker or it was either Joker or Joel.
Let me see. Let me look it up.
Let's see. 2023, right?
Let's see. Jokic. I think it's time for Ant-Man.
Bro, dude, I think Ant is gonna take another step because it's not even about the freaking Jordan comparisons. I don't think he is Jordan. I don't think he can be Jordan. But I think that he is the most athletically gifted point guard in the NBA right now, from the way he can handle the basketball, from the way he's developing his mid-range jump shot, to the way he can drive the basketball, and the way if you get in his way, he's just going to put you through the rim. My three favorite players, Ant-Man, Ja Morant, Jason Tatum, when Jason Tatum's not just settling for threes. But I do really like Minnesota. It's just, can Karl Anthony Towns play up to the stature of a 6'11", 7 foot big? Because just because you are big don't mean that you're playing big. If Cat can somehow develop, and I know it's late in his career, one single post move, if it's just a hook shot, if it's a pull through, if it's a spin off bank, he just need to go watch a bunch of Tim Duncan film and just pick one of them shots. He ain't even got to be great at it. Just pick one. No, nobody else, because it's going to be too fast. He needs something basic, fundamental, and elementary that he can do over and over and over.
I was going to say Kevin Garnett, but he kind of already does that little... he kind of pump fake. He's tall already, so it's you're gonna shoot over the defender anyway.
Okay. And then our last one that we're gonna get into, we're gonna talk about. Here, I'll let you pick. We got two more. Which one you want? Last two.
I want to talk about the Shannon Sharpe.
We gonna get into Shannon Sharpe. Unc got caught in the buck on the IG Live. Smacking ass, getting cheeks, talking about
Michelle.
This Michelle belonged to me. So, I just want to know. So, was he on IG Live before it happened, then he went to turn it off? Because I've gotten conflicting stories from my sources, right? So, and my sources are Shannon Sharpe and Nightcap. So, was he on IG Live recording a live and then tried to turn it off and then was ready? Or was he on his Instagram and then somehow it slid over and then it went on live? Because it don't, I get he said he'd never been on live, but how was your phone on Instagram? You got to go through some shit to start an IG Live. And my girl was trying to explain it. She was like, all you got to do is slide open and swipe it. Well, I slid, and then you still got to press start on that motherfucker.
I ain't never accidentally went live, and I've had Instagram since 2012.
Bro, and you a whole ass podcast producer. King, speak for the people. How hard is it to go live on social media?
You got to push some buttons.
You got to push some buttons and get some settings. Because I know on some of them, you got to have a description. You got to have a location. You got to have...
It won't even let you start the live unless you type in the title of it or a description, or how does that work?
No, on lives, you just got to press live. You just got to press go live, and then it says, are you ready to go live? And you got to press ready or go or whatever.
I know YouTube's a little bit stricter.
Yeah, YouTube's strict with it. But that's crazy though, bro. Like,
it's 2024.
It's 2024.
At first, he tried to deny it and say that he was hacked, and then I think he came out later and said that he wasn't hacked and that it did happen, type shit.
He shouldn't have been ashamed about it happening. Shit, to be honest with you, you should have had the damn more footage. Not footage, but more audio. Like, instead of 30 seconds or whatever it was. You should have had 2 minutes. Shit.
And the crazy part was like, okay,
that don't make sense. How's it only live for 30 seconds, 41 seconds?
And I'm gonna run a science experiment, right? He said that one of his producers had access to his Instagram and turned it off. So what I'm gonna do when I get home, I got this phone, I got my Wi-Fi phone. I'm gonna go live on this phone and try to shut it off from my other phone and see. And I'm gonna come back with my science experiment next week.
I believe you could do something like that, but you got to have like a moderator or something like that. You got to have somebody that has your account information, and you have to like
but
link them.
Thing is, even if we all have access to my Instagram, say we all have access to my Ridin Hot page, I have it on my phone. Lucky Lamar has it on his phone, and you have it on your phone. If I go live on my phone, it doesn't pop up on y'all's phone. I can't go live on y'all's phone from my phone. Nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, because even if like he was saying, like if we're both signed in, like what I do on the profiler account, you won't even know it, because like unless you like go through and you look at it from a third party. You know what I mean? So like,
I appreciate him explaining it on Nightcap, but it didn't make sense. From a young generation that knows about social media.
Yeah, facts.
And you can't fool us because you're an old head talking about you don't know, you never done it. You can't really fool the younger generation.
It's like how Kevin Hart said in that one stand-up.
Derek just said it, like you can't go on somebody else's phone. You can't be on your phone and then shut the live off or go live. So it really don't make sense.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Shout out Mitchell Finesse watching all the way in DC, man.
Hey, shout out DC. Hey, are you a Ravens fan or a Commanders fan? And once he answers that question, I'm going to say this last line and we're going to wrap it up.
Already.
So, the whole situation, did y'all see when they had a roast of Shannon on Nightcap?
Yeah, it was the same. Was it the same podcast, all in one?
Yeah, it was. He had the emergency one where he tried to deny it. Yeah, and then he had the other one with all those guys when he explained the explanation type shit.
Yeah. Talking about
hey,
Cat Williams called him.
He's an Eagles fan. I'm an Eagles fan too, big dog. Who's your nephew? I love the Eagles. But anywho, we gonna go ahead and we gonna wrap it up. Any final thoughts, Lil Boss, before we get out of here?
Man, shit, y'all just support the Ridin Hot podcast, you know what I'm saying? The segment, the sports segment, you know what I'm saying? We're going to keep giving it to y'all straight cut and no raw. You know what I'm saying? Just our side of perspectives. We're, you know what I'm saying? We here in Corpus, you know what I'm saying? We're just trying to keep it local, but we willing to touch NFL, NBA, anything, college football, celebrities. We just going to give our opinion, how we feel.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we need to get Anais down here so we can do this interview with him. I really want to do it. Shout out, and I can't wait to see them Jalen Hurts cleats, Mitchell Finesse. Keep doing your thing. Hey, we appreciate y'all for supporting us, guys. Anything you want to say before we get out of here, King?
I'm good. Oh, yeah. Right, as soon as we get off air, man, I'm going live interviewing Raul from So Blendy Barbershop, man. So y'all don't miss that, man. Mr. Hair Raiser himself, Mr. So Blendy, you know what I'm saying? We'll probably be on like around 9:30, 9:45. So y'all don't miss that. Riding Out with DJ Lil King coming up next, man.
Yes, sir. And with that being said, we out. Y'all can follow me on Lucky Lamar on all platforms. Lil Boss, DJ Lil King, we out. Take us out with that.